Hey friends, it's Missy again. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm back with a new layout for the Hip Kit Club and the Hip Kit Club YouTube channel. And I'm using the 2018 December kits today. And I'm going to start with a cut file. This is one of Jill's cut files from the 12 Days of Giving freebies over on the blog, and they're just some really cute frames with some sentiments at the top. And I cut 3 of them in different pattern papers that we get in the main kit, and all of these papers are exclusive to Hip Kits. There's so many beautiful exclusive products, from stickers to die cuts, project life cards, you name it. Everything is so pretty. And I really don't think I tend to go for navy blue a lot, but this color here on the Bah Humbug piece, that is a dark navy blue, and I really like it. I think it's going to coordinate with my picture really well and the background that I'm going to make later. But these papers, the green and the red, are kind of busy. They're basically just green with a white pattern or red with a white pattern. And I want the sentiments to stand out a little bit more whenever I go to put them on my background. And so I'm just taking some white scrap paper to back the words. Now the red paper was a little busy, and so I'm going to take the paint that we get in the shimmers, or the color kit, the shimmers from the color kit. It's called Creamy's Rednecking. And I'm just going to give it a light coat over this frame here, just to kind of mute out some of the white. And this is going to make it a little less busy, and you're going to be able to see the word a lot better since there's not as much white, because there's such a big contrast between the red and the white. And when I put the white paper behind it, it kind of blended in. You couldn't really tell what it said. And that red is gorgeous, but it's very bold, and you really don't need a lot of it if you're going to use it. Well, it depends on what you're doing, but it's very pretty, but a little bit goes a long way. Okay, so I've got Bah Humbug, Ho Ho Ho, and Oh What Fun. And at this point, I wasn't really quite sure how I was going to arrange these on a background, but this is my picture, and it makes me laugh. It's from a few years ago. My oldest daughter wanted nothing to do with sitting on Santa's lap, and this was the school Santa. He came to school to visit, and so her teacher, who is a total sweetheart, kneeled down there, and she sat on her knee. But the look on her face is so funny because she's got her fingers in her ears, which is kind of what she does when she's uncomfortable, and her eyes are cut in the total opposite direction, and the look on her face is just, you know, get me out of here. I do not want to do this. She wasn't afraid of him or anything, but she sat there just long enough for me to take her picture, and then she was out of there. But it just makes me laugh. And I love the colors. The colors in the photo are so deep and rich, and they really go with the reds and the navies. And I really like the pop of green that the paper is going to add to it. So my background is this paper here. This is another exclusive, and I really like this one for a background because it's mainly white, but it does have a red pattern on it, but it's very subtle. And so I just whited out the center of the paper with white gesso, and I like doing this because it gives me some space to work with mixed media, but I can still see the pattern around the edges of the paper, and that's the look that I was going for. So I decided to add some blue to the background, and I went through some of the shimmers from previous kits to start this with. And the first color, that blue color that I've already used, is the Deep Blue Sea Spray that we got last month. This here is another deep blue color that we got. I think this one's from August. It's called Oaky Bear Blue, and it's a shimmers also. All of these that I'm using today are shimmers. They're just from different months. So I'm using the packaging technique. I'm adding a lot of water, or I will as I go. I've just got a cheap spray bottle of water, and this has been my thing lately. I've really liked smudging on the color with either a brush or just directly spraying it, or using the packaging technique and then just spraying water on top of it and tilting the paper and just let it run and let the color do its thing and let the water just help it run and blend. And I just love the soft hazy look that you get at the bottom of it. I did add some of the Well Blue Me Down, but here's what I'm talking about. You can kind of see how it just naturally blends and runs, and it's so pretty. I love the effect, and I love to watch it as it's running and blending. So I'm going to keep working. I do spend quite a bit of time on the background. You know me, I can't just get it done quickly. So I wanted more blue showing above the frames at the top. And I do wind up kind of changing how I arrange the frames behind the picture. But this is a case of, you know, you make this background and you think, oh my gosh, I've almost covered the whole paper. But then when you do this and you put your papers and your picture back on top of it, you realize you can't really see a lot of it because it gets covered up. And so that's why it's good to, you know, work on your background and then bring everything back on top of it and kind of see, kind of like a, you know, as you progress with the background, see what it looks like when you're going to add everything back on top of it, because you may wind up covering it all up and then you won't be able to see it. So yeah, I like the way things look when it's kind of just coming out from behind everything. I kind of think I'm going to do this kind of, I thought I was going to stack them just kind of like file folders behind the picture, but I changed my mind. I played around with it, and then I'm going to spread them out a little bit, kind of like this. And I just use my tiny attacher there to kind of staple them, and so now I can just move all of them together without them moving all over the place. So I'm not finished yet with the background, of course. I'm going to add in some splatters. This is the green color that we got this month, and it's an Inklings. It's called the Holly and the Ivy, and it is a very, very pretty green, perfect for Christmas. It goes really well with that rednecking color. And I'm just adding some splatters here. I didn't want to change the background to green, and so I made sure I just added splatters of other colors. This was from a few months ago also. I think this might have been from August. It's the Miner 49er. And I'm going to show you here in a minute when this is dry just how shimmery this gold is. And I know a lot of people are freaking out about what happens when they run out of Heidi Swapp Gold Color Shine. This Miner 49er is pretty close. I love it, and it splatters really well. It's gorgeous. And I'll show you here in just a second once I finish splattering. I did decide to go back to the rednecking color and add a little bit of splatters, but yeah, I love how that looks. So here you can see the shimmery of that gold. It just stands out on top of everything. Definitely worth checking out if you need some gold. I'm going to use some of the packaging as a layer here. It's the packaging is really cute this month with all of the stickers and die cuts and things. It's white with little light blue dots on it, so I thought that would be something fun to use as a layer, as well as that red and white plaid Project Life card. And I know I said this before, I can't remember what video I said it in, but red is not my favorite color to scrap with. I think it's because it's just so bold, and so I'm gonna go light on the red, but I am gonna have pops of red. I've got the frame, I've got that card peeking out, and then Santa has got a lot of red on his outfit, and so there's a couple of pops of red and these little embellishments that I'm going to use. I'm just going to play around at this point. My background's done and the basic design of everything is done. This is something that I played around with on my first layout with these kits. We get this exclusive set of gold puffy stickers, and sometimes I feel like the gold is so gold, and this is a perfect way to tone it down. If you don't want it to be super shiny and so brassy, smudge some gesso on it with your finger, and then just use a napkin to kind of continue smudging it, dabbing it, and rubbing on it, and it completely softens it up. And I think it's so pretty. It's still shiny, it's still gold, it's just a little more muted, and I love that. So I decided to embellish around the photo with Christmas trees, and I'm using die cuts. I'm going to use that puffy gold one. I'm going to use these two little puffy stickers. We did get some puffy stickers from Pink Fresh Studio, and these navy blue alphas are Pink Fresh Studio. Now, I went to Pinterest and looked up, I actually typed in anti-Santa quotes, and I found the cutest quote, and it was actually a joke. I can't remember what the question was, but the answer was claustrophobic. And I thought, oh my gosh, that is the perfect title for this layout, because that's exactly, when I look at her, that is the word that comes to mind, because she wants nothing to do with him. And I thought, okay, that's the longest word of a title I've ever used, but I'm going to use it. I'm going to make it work because it just made me laugh. And I thought, yep, that's the title. So I'm going to use those navy blue alphas, and I'm going to kind of like it's there now. I know it's crooked. I haven't glued anything down, but yeah, I'm going to put it down below the photo. Now, before I glue anything else down, I'm going to add in some navy blue thread. And I did trim, I was showing you that little Christmas tree a second ago. I trimmed some of the white on the die cuts. The white edge was really thick, and I felt like it was standing out a little too much. And so I just trimmed it up a little bit. It's still outlined in white. It's just not as a thick border. And so now I'm going to start to glue everything else down. I've got my thread on both sides, and then I've got these trees that I'm going to glue down very carefully so it doesn't move. And then I wanted to add some thread below before I glued down the title, and I went back and forth between red and green. And this is going to be very, very subtle, but you can kind of barely see the red peeking out. And I tried to add a die cut, but I felt like it was just too much. I didn't really need it. And then I'm going to start to very carefully organize this title. Since it is so long, I wanted it to be straight. And I wanted the word claws to stand out because obviously it's a play on words. And so I'm going to separate it like that. And here comes my T-square ruler. I love this thing. I got it at Joann.com several years ago. It was just a couple dollars, and it's perfect for lining up things like this. And so I'm going to use it to glue down the bottom part of the word, and I'm going to glue everything down because hardly anything sticks to gesso. And so I've got it all glued down. It's nice and straight. I wanted to add some more gold, and I really loved adding the gesso to these gold puffy stickers. And so I thought there's some dots on there. Those would make really cute Christmas ornaments on this little tree over here on the right. And it's going to give that side of the page a pop of that gold as well. So I did that. And then I'm going to start to play with some of these die cuts. The theme for today for me, and it may be this week, I'm not sure, but it's holiday traditions. And so that little die cut at the top says holiday traditions, and so I thought, oh, that's perfect, I'm going to use that. And we try to make it a tradition to see Santa. We actually haven't done it in a few years except for the Santa at school, because both of my girls just really want nothing to do with him. And so, you know, we kind of test it out when Santa comes to school and see how they do, and if they, you know, seem to be open to it, then maybe we'll go to the mall and see Santa. But just depends, and I'm not going to force it. If they don't want to do it, I'm not going to force it on them. I did another one of the puffy stickers again. I put it behind the photo there. It's Snowflake. And then I wanted to do something at the bottom. So this is a Pink Fresh Studio paper, and I wanted to have something below the title before I wrote my journaling. So I fussy cut out these little rows of lights, and they are perfect. They fit the bottom word perfectly. I couldn't have done that again if I tried, and then I play around with a couple other things. I don't wind up using these stockings. It was just too much, too busy. And so I just go with the little strings of Christmas lights. I do add some puffy stars. There's a lot of stars in the exclusive puffy sticker sheet, and they're light blue, they're green, they're red. I think there's that yellowy golden Christmas color, but I did not use that color on this layout, so I didn't use those. But I do go back and add glue to those stars again, because anytime you use gesso, nothing wants to stick to it except the glue. Actual glue works, but like chipboard stickers or regular stickers, they just pop right off. So I'm going to glue down those little string of lights, and I love how that looks, like they're just kind of hanging under the word. And then I do add a couple of things on top of the frames on the edges there. I went back and forth. I wanted to, and then I thought, no, it doesn't need it. And then I wind up doing it. I'm going to add that little circle over on the left. It says Merry Christmas. and I do add a couple of the exclusive wood veneer buttons. Now these do have a little adhesive sticky dot on the back, but I pulled those off because I felt like I had enough dimension going on and I didn't want them to be super high. So I just pulled off the little sticky and glued them down. Oh, what am I going to do? Oh yeah, I forgot. I'm going to add 2 little candy canes over on the right. And then the last thing I'm going to do is add in a couple of lines for journaling, and I'm going to use my gold pen for this. I love using my gold pen for Christmas pages, but anyway, I did add the date, and that's the final layout. I love how this turned out. It was so much fun to make. I loved scrapping this photo. I love those frames. I love my title. I'm telling you guys, go to Pinterest, type in anything. I promise you, I typed in anti-Santa quotes, and this popped up. And I mean, but really, who types in anti-Santa quotes? Me, because I have sad children in these photos lately, but they make me laugh. Anyway, let me know if you have any questions. The December kits are gorgeous, and they make it really fun to make Christmas projects. So I hope you guys are enjoying your kits. If you've already gotten them, they are definitely on their way. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.